Let me tell you a story. It was around 2 years ago on a very particular day where I went to sleep, not even to sleep, like, just to bed, at around 11 p.m. or something like that. First of all, 2 years ago, I didn't even have a sleeping schedule. I wasn't even interested in improving my sleep, and so my general sleep time back then was like 5, 6 hours, so it was pretty shit. But this was a special day. I stayed up late at like till around 1 a.m. on my phone. Like I was just like scrolling on my phone, watching some, I don't know, like Call of Duty videos or what I was watching that time. And then at around like 2, maybe like 2 a.m., I finally went to sleep. Then I woke up like 2 hours later at 4 a.m. And what I didn't like toss and turn around, just like in 10 minutes I would fall back asleep. No, I grabbed my laptop and I searched for more Call of Duty videos. And I stayed up till like 6 a.m. or something like that. So I slept for 2 hours that day. And of course, like, I still remember this vividly till this moment that I was just drowsy and like sloppy the whole day that I like that day that I slept 2 hours. But yeah, man, those are the consequences. Here's the thing, man. I've recently saw a statistic that just blew my mind, and it will probably blow your mind as well. The average US adult spends 7 hours 30 minutes on the screens per day. So 7 hours 30 minutes. You think that's bad? He like also that same US like adult, the average US adult spends 5 hours 30 minutes in bed. So like 2 hours less. I think like I don't even need to comment something right here. I'll just like go a little bit further in explaining that 5 hours 30 minutes in bedtime, it doesn't mean like 5 hours 30 minutes of sleep, because you need some time to fall asleep, you need some time to like wake up, take a piss, and like go back and fall asleep again. So it's more like 5 hours, maybe even less, like 4 hours 50 40 minutes. So it is just catastrophic how these days, like how little sleep these days people get. And a lot of a lot of the problems of course come from our screens and our inability to establish good sleeping patterns and schedules. I'm not going to talk about like the phone and the whole technology issue in this video, because it is so bloody obvious that like if you use your phone just like a couple of minutes before you go to bed, and look, man, you might use it to like, I don't know, read on your Kindle app or some shit like that. It's like, okay, that's fine, man, that's fine. But if you watch some news or Instagram reels, or I don't know, like anything of that sort on your phone with like max brightness just a couple of minutes before you go to sleep, of course that's going to be like totally disastrous for your sleep. But that's obvious, like that's, you already knew that, so I'm not going to talk about this in this video. In this video I'm going to share you some secrets in establishing a good sleeping pattern. So the first thing you must do is you need to understand, okay, are you a morning lark or a night owl? Because here's the thing, it is actually relatively easy to understand that. Just kind of figure out in which part of the day do you have the most energy, in the morning or in the evening. Because for example, my whole family, they're like my mother, my father, like they're all night owls. So they stay up till like 11, maybe sometimes like 12 p.m. and not like yeah, 11 p.m. usually like 11 p.m. And I just don't pass in that category because I'm a pretty stark morning lark. I wake up at 5:30. I feel like bloody energized. It's 6 something a.m. right now when I'm recording this video. So most of the people aren't even awake right now when I'm recording this. And I go to bed at 9 a.m. at 9 p.m. So I'm a pretty heavy morning lark. And it is relatively easy actually to discuss your own kind of sleep identity. Let's say it like that, because just figure out where you have the most energy. If you are the most energized and you feel like you can do the most productive work late in the evening, okay, then you're a night owl. Then you can move your like this go to bed time a little bit later till like around 11, maybe even for some people it's going to be 1 a.m, maybe like around that time. This is quite rare, but some people just have it. And if you are feeling more energized in the mornings, then yeah, man, you are a morning lark. And so with that information acquired, we need to set up a good sleeping schedule, which is going to be roughly around. Here's the thing, your in bed time must be at least 8 hours 30 minutes. Because if you think that to get 8 hours of sleep, you need to be in bed for 8 hours. So, for example, if you want to get like your 8 hours of sleep, you need to go at bed at like 10 p.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. This is pure hogwash because you need to, as I said, you need some time to fall asleep. You'll probably wake up in the middle of the night. You need to take a piss. You like need to, like, I don't know, do some stuff. Maybe you'll like drink some water and then you'll come back. And so with this whole turmoil that is happening for you in the middle of the night, you're just simply going to waste around like 30, maybe sometimes 40 minutes, and you're just going to sleep for a little bit more than 7 hours, which is, it is better than 5 and 6, but our ideal is of course 8. So just plan it out to be 8 hours 30 minutes. You can just, if you are a morning lark, you can copy my sleeping schedule. I will go to bed at 9 p.m. and wake up at 5:30 a.m. For you, if you are a night owl, I don't really, I'm not going to like plan it out right now because I'm not a night owl. I don't really know the all of the details of being a night owl. But I would probably guess that going to bed, let's just say at around 11 p.m. So let me just calculate it in my brain. So if you go to bed at 11 p.m., you need to get 8 hours. Yeah, then you can wake up at 7:30 a.m. So probably it's going to be for you. If you are a night owl, I'll probably like recommend to go to bed at 11 p.m. and wake up at 7:30 a.m. Now the next thing is lights. You view too much light before you go to sleep. Here's the thing. You probably, before you go to sleep, you have max brightness on your phone. You have your overhead light turned on, and you complain about why you cannot sleep. Here's the thing. When I first read about lights and like the blue and red lights and like warm and all of this stuff in the book, which is called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, which is an absolutely amazing guide to sleeping well. It's going to be give you sleep anxiety, but that's not our point. But when I first read about like the blue and the warm lights and how they affect our sleeping schedules and sleeping patterns and circadian rhythm, etc., etc., I went into this full autistic mode where, and I'm not even taking a piss right now, I'm like literally saying as it was. I used to get my sunglasses, like literally sunglasses that you would normally wear, like on the beach or like on a sunny day. I would take them in my bathroom, or I would just like walk around my home just maybe like an hour prior to my sleep time. because I didn't want to get my like the light that was going through all of the lamps. And the thing is, all of the lamps and the overhead lights in my home are like they're pretty warm. I very seldom, like almost never use the overhead light in my room. I just like I will 99.9% of the time I use the lamp which is right here. And I was going into this full autistic mode, and it brought me nothing other than just sleep anxiety, honestly. But the general rule of thumb is never view too much bright light like an hour prior to your sleep time. So how can like the brightness of the light you can of course figure it out. So and you can adjust it. So for example, on your phone, just put the brightness a little bit lower. You don't have to go like max brightness or like max on brightness, just like full dark mode. No. You can just turn on the like what's the thing called? The kind of like the night or night shift. Yeah, it's called night shift on your phone. I don't know, like maybe it's called a bit different, but on my phone it's called night shift. It's just basically where the light on your phone it turns into this like very warm orangey. It turns in this like very warm orangey way where just your phone doesn't extract the blue light, because the blue light itself it is harmful for your sleep. So if your house has like those lamps with blue light, just turn them off. Maybe buy some like or like more of the warm lights lamps. Just the general rule of thumb is don't view too much bright loud light and don't view the blue light. You can figure it out, like is this a blue light or like a warm light. You can of course figure it out readily. Just like use the warm light and don't view too much bright light. As simple as that. Now, here's the thing, and this gets maybe even a little bit controversial right here. Sleeping pills. If you take those sleeping pills like melatonin or some shit like that before you go to sleep, you're literally making yourself somewhat handicapped. Because here's the thing, those melatonin pills that they usually sell, they have a sometimes even a 400% dose of the melatonin that your body usually produces. So first of all, what is melatonin? What is melatonin itself? It's a sleep hormone, as you know, but melatonin doesn't participate in sleep. So melatonin is not all like this, normal sleeping hormones which participate whilst you sleep. No, melatonin is kind of like the how what the analogy would be. When you sprint 100 meters, the guy would usually like either like shout start or like fire from a pistol, or I don't know, like just make some sort of a noise to just say like, okay, this is where like this is the time that you need to start running. Melatonin is kind of like that guy. So melatonin just basically says to the body, okay, this is the moment we fall asleep. Then melatonin doesn't participate in sleep. And so if you're taking this like crazy dose of melatonin, and like this is the thing that you need to realize, the amount of melatonin that usually comes in those pills is at least like 100%, maybe sometimes 200% more than your body needs. And so just after a while of taking those melatonin pills daily, or maybe even just a couple of times per week, your body stops producing the melatonin. It doesn't stop, like, but the whole process of melatonin production in your body just kind of handicaps a little bit. And so just the general rule of thumb is don't take melatonin, don't like drink all those pills. Your body can perfectly produce all of the hormones it needs. So don't take the sleeping pills, because like I have, from what I've read in this book, And you can just go and buy this book if you're like really interested in sleeping pills. This book has a chapter on sleeping pills, so you can read it. Taking sleeping pills in itself is it's a pretty, how do you even call it, questionable idea, because the sleeping pills don't really like affect your sleep. It's more of like, I would say, a placebo. So most of the sleeping pills, which are like not melatonin, they're kind of placebo like. But melatonin is to some degree even dangerous, because you take the dose of the sleeping hormone which your body needs in just some like ridiculously over amount. So just general rule of thumb is don't take sleeping pills. And the last thing that I want to say is about caffeine, about coffee. This is not about like establishing a good sleeping schedule. It's a little bit different. To actually avoid this afternoon crash, which most, like, if you drink coffee as one of the first things in the morning, you probably have what's called the afternoon crash. So it's around like 1 2 p.m., somewhere around that time. You just feel a little bit like drowsy and sleepy and just like non-energized. This is because you drank caffeine too early in the day. So delay your caffeine intake if you drink coffee, of course, in the morning. I don't usually drink coffee. I sometimes drink it, but like it's more of a taste thing rather than like, okay, I need to like be more energized, because I get my usual like 8 hours of sleep. So I every most like 90% of the days I feel perfectly fine. Sometimes I just drink coffee more like for the taste. But just if you drink coffee every single day, delay your caffeine intake by like 90 minutes. Simple as that. Just 90-minute delay. You will avoid this afternoon crash. This was just like a little like sleeping, not even sleeping tip, but just like a general like life hack. But with caffeine and sleep, don't ever, like never, drink coffee. And here's where you'll need to calculate something right here. If you take, look, man, I'm going to calculate for you. If you're in bedtime is 8 hours 30 minutes, your served caffeine window is going to be 3 hours and 30 minutes. I'm shit at math, so I probably calculated it wrong. But basically, caffeine extracts in the body and it just totally demolishes after 12 hours of after you have injected caffeine. And with you need to use both of those rules. So delay caffeine intake by 90 minutes after you have woken up, and then here's your caffeine, sort of like coffee window. Here's where your coffee window will be. But you need to also plan it like 12 hours after you have drank your coffee. Your like your body will totally like demolish all of the coffee, all of the caffeine that is in the body. Because if you drink it like at around 1 2 maybe 3 p.m., you're just going to go to sleep with this caffeine in your body. And caffeine works, as I'm going to explain it simply. Caffeine blocks your adenosine. Adenosine is basically a sleep hormone which makes you sleepy. So as simple as that. Just the general rule of thumb is establish a certain caffeine window where you can drink caffeine without having this afternoon crash. And you'll also have those 12 hours for your body to extract all of the caffeine from itself. And so with that, if you want to really develop as a man, or if you want to really learn more about sleep or any other self-improvement domain, you can get coaching from me. My email is linked down below. And so with that, I hope this will help you, and see you in the next one.